welcome to another thought-provoking episode of the Show. We are two geeks who talk about everything. My name is Aaron, and I'm joined as always by my cousin Landon.
Good day. It's going to be a philosophical evening or afternoon or morning, whenever you're listening to this.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Walter Cronkite.
Okay, so guys, kids.
Is that Walter Cronkite?
No, that was the Truman Show.
Oh, wait, wasn't there someone who said, oh, I'm thinking of the guy who's like, good day, Walter Harvey.
Yeah.
Paul Harvey.
Paul
Harvey. He's like,
good day.
Good day. This is Paul Harvey. Good day.
Cronkite would say, and that's the way it was.
That's right. Walter Cronkite.
But the Truman Show was, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I need to watch that again. That's a good movie.
It is a good movie. I actually just watched it yesterday. It's good stuff. All right. So, if you joined us last week, you know that this week we are talking about questions. There is this book, ironically titled The Book of Questions. It's by a guy named Gregory Stock, PhD. Not sure what that PhD is in. Maybe his doctor of thinkology. I don't know.
Peter Venkman, kind of a.
I doubt he has anything to do with Peter Venkman, a fictional character in a Ghostbusters movie.
But just that kind of caliber of PhD. Just wondering.
It could be very, very easily could be that kind of thing. But okay, so I'll give you backstory with at least what I know about the Book of Questions.
Is this a long backstory? Should I lay back?
If you would like.
Is this something where you're gonna, is this like a flashback moment?
If I had that power, yes, but I don't have that power. Yeah, this isn't Wayne's World, and I can't do that. All I can do is give you a description of travel back with me to 10th grade. Patrick Henry High School. I am in Western civilization, world history kind of class. And we've got a teacher named Mr. Salo. And Mr. Salo was one of those teachers who, how do I put this? He was very easily distractible. And so it was super easy to get him off topic and to not talk about the things that we're supposed to be learning about. This is a guy who showed us The Gods Must Be Crazy as part of curriculum. Great movie, by the way.
Movie.
Great movie. But often, if he didn't feel like teaching, or if we didn't feel like learning, we would encourage him to pull out this book of questions. And it was just for fun. It was just these random questions. The version of the book I have is a revised version that came out a few years ago. The one that he had came out in the 90s. So if that tells you how long this thing's been around. But anyway,
sounds like an awesome teacher.
He was great. He was another way to get him off topic was to ask him about I can't remember which finger he had that was amputated, but he was missing a finger. Weird. Get him to tell that story. He'd tell that story every time somebody asked him. Didn't matter that we all heard it 50 times.
I wouldn't have wanted to hear it.
Oh, it was a fascinating story. I can't remember any of it right now, but it was good stuff.
Not so
clearly, it made a mark on my life. All right, so Landon, here's what we're gonna do.
All right,
there are 291 separate questions in this book.
Do we have time for this?
Not all 291. We will put a limit on how far we go with this. Because some of these questions will be super easy to answer and be like, that, obviously is just a yes or no answer. And so, yes.
Okay. All right.
But some of them, they're going to make you think.
Okay.
A lot of these questions are what you would call morality or ethical questions. A lot of them are like, what would you do in this situation? Or like, would you rather kind of questions. It's a good kind of mix of what could make your brain tick. So what I'm going to do is ask you to give me a number between 1 and 291, and we'll begin.
Do I have to talk about why I choose the number? I mean, are we doing this in depth?
No,
Should I go to the
this is
philosophy of
not
why this
Who
number
Wants
is?
to Be a Millionaire. I don't need to know why you're picking A over D. I just want you to give an answer.
All right. Here we go. 92.
92. Good number. Good number. Why did you pick 92?
You don't want to know that.
Okay. All right. 92. Here we go. Ooh, this one has a follow-up question.
Oh.
Okay, but we'll start with the beginning. Would you be willing? Ooh, this one's racy. This one's racy. Good choice. Would you be willing to give up sex for a year if you knew it would give you a much deeper sense of peace than you have now? That's a year, Landon. A year. Now, I'll let I mean, you go ahead. You answer that because you'd be missing out on something. Me, I got nobody. So I'm not missing out on anything. So
yeah. I mean, celebrating 20 years married.
so you want your year to start after your anniversary.
There's a good point. I think so. I think the idea of finding peace would probably make all aspects of marriage life and everything better and enhanced beyond that year. So I guess I would choose a path of inner peace.
Would you have to talk your wife into it?
Probably more than I'd like to.
All right. You want the follow-up question on that one?
Yeah.
All right. What would you be willing to give up to have as much wonderful sex as you desire for the next year?
We probably should have done a disclaimer before this. So for all
of our disclaimer, this thing is rated R.
For all of our listeners who are too young to listen to this part, just know I'm answering in a PG fashion, PG-13 fashion here.
I think we'll be okay.
What would I be willing to give up?
We've never claimed to be a family-friendly podcast.
What would I be willing to give up for the best sex? I guess I would say everything other than inner peace. No, just kidding.
Well, I've done worked on inner peace for an entire year now. What
At
am I
this
gonna
point, yeah. Wow, that really got to it. I thought
we dove right in,
just
head
rock
first.
It in. There you go. So
I knew there were some sex questions in here, but I didn't know we'd get it. I mean, what are the odds that the very first question you pick is all about the sex?
Yes. I think I land solid on that for myself. Yeah.
To give my answer, absolutely, I'll give it up for a year because I don't know what I'm missing. So, all right, you want to give me another number?
Sure. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and go with 33.
33.
Who would have known 92 was such a racy question?
I know. Okay. This one's not as racy.
Here we go.
But it does have the word sex in it.
Good gravy. What book is this?
I thought this was a clean book.
Did the teacher get fired?
I was in high school.
Did the teacher get fired? I mean, did he retire well, or did they have to let him go?
I'll be honest, I don't know what happened to him after I graduated. I mean, he'll just fade off into the woodwork.
Maybe he's working on his inner peace.
This is we're all part of a simulation anyway. He's probably just an NPC out there just getting things done. All right. Question number 33. Would you want to spend a week as someone of the opposite sex, someone very old, very beautiful, very ugly, or severely handicapped? If so, which one would most intrigue you? So your options, if you wanted to spend a week as someone else, spend a week as someone of the opposite sex, very old, very beautiful, very ugly, or severely handicapped?
Um, I wouldn't want to be someone old because I think like being old but not having the journey behind it, there it's not an appeal. Maybe somebody says I want to be old so I'm like retired, but I guess I just there's like a journey that goes with that. So I don't think that's the one for me. Ugly, living my best life now, actually. No. I think, that I could see the value in that to be able to, you know, get out of so much vanity or the pursuit of vanity. I guess it would be interesting to understand what it's like to be a woman, I suppose. Just because, being a male and there's so much talk about how males are so misogynistic and I'm trying to learn off of my father's example and good men in my life to not be that kind of person. But at the same time, I think there's still a whole side of things that you don't get to see. Like if the question include, would you like to try to be from another ethnicity, or something like that? I would say probably yes, because it's just I'd like to have that kind of exposure to for a better appreciation, if you will. You?
Interesting. I'm with you. I think I would want to, like, of those options, probably go with spend a week as someone of the opposite sex. Um, I think about that and think about how, I mean, look at me. I'm a white man, age 43. Uh
Old
and
already.
to what?
Old already.
Old already, yeah. I think about we live in a society where just being a white male heterosexual makes you privileged, which is crazy because I don't feel privileged. I know it's
Right.
there. I know the privilege
Right.
is there,
Right.
but I don't feel it. And so, like, if I were to put myself in the shoes of a woman and experience that for a week, what does that do for that mentality of privilege? You
Right.
know, how does that change for me? And I picture it almost being like, I've got a mind that tries to go toward the humorous as often as possible, but I'm picturing myself as a woman getting cramps for the first time.
Oh, it's like what the hell?
Being like,
What?
how do you deal with this all the
Why?
time?
Why? I've had the privilege of working with a lot of women in my different jobs and careers, and I've met a few people that have worked alongside me and worked for me who have had other work experiences with men that they've told me about that were very just alarming. Just how they were
Yeah,
um, with them. And again, like I said, I'm very fortunate with my upbringing on the matter, but it's just I think it just happens. It's pretty prevalent, and it's just a whole side of things that I don't really get exposure to, except for what people tell me. And it's just, I think having that awareness would be helpful. So, hmm,
yeah. I think it's shocking to hear some of the stories, when women have been willing to come out with the truth that they
right,
have experienced, because a lot don't. Like, there are so many
right,
who they feel like it's almost like society has trained them to believe it's their fault that this kind of, like, that horrible
right,
things happen to them, that sexual harassment or assault
right,
or
right,
things like that happen to them. It's not. But at the same time, our world is such that it's like they are taught not to say anything because it'll be
right,
embarrassing to you, not to the
right,
guy who did this to you. It'll be embarrassing for you. And gosh, I wish that there was a different narrative on all of that. And it's just I think things are changing for the better, but it's
right.
so slow going. getting
I
there.
think that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to with heaven and when in the new earth and just as this whole mortal coil ends, it's just obviously we're striving for it on this earth and all of that in our society, but just the idea of having that, being bereft of that challenge, that problem, both in gender and ethnicity. Um, oh, it's crazy. Okay, so next one. How about question 200?
200. Getting on up there, man. All right, number 200. Oh, wow. This one has a couple of follow-up questions. Oh, this is a long one.
Oh,
It's almost like a story here. An eccentric millionaire offers to donate a large sum to charity if you'll step naked from your car, again with the sex, onto a busy downtown street and walk 4 blocks before getting back into the vehicle. If you knew there'd be no danger of physical abuse, how big a donation would it take to get you to do it? Now, remember, this is a donation to charity. They're not paying you to strut naked 4 blocks. This is a donation going to a charity of your choice.
Yeah,
And what if you knew that your stroll would be posted online? That is another kink to the question.
so no.
No amount,
No amount of money.
no amount of
No amount of
money.
money. None.
What if
It
the
doesn't
money was
matter.
going to you?
Well,
What if they
that's
said, all right, Landon,
so if I make a
we could give
plan.
$1 million to the American Red Cross. We could save a lot of lives with that money, make a lot of people comfortable.
Yeah.
Or we could give you $1 million. All you got to do is walk out of that car 4 blocks naked. You're not going to give that money to people who need it. We're just going to give it to you.
I'd say give me 2 million, match that with the charity. Two
Okay.
million to me, 2 million to the charity, and then I'll go and I'll find a place in the middle of nowhere in Europe and I'll,
No, it's according to the question, it has to be a busy downtown street.
no. That's fine. I'll do the deal. I'll walk naked and then I'm gonna go to Europe. I'm gonna
Oh,
live.
I gotcha. With your $2 million, you're gonna
Yeah, 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 I'll do
go
that.
someplace where
No,
they don't know you.
the money side of it, like I wouldn't do it for charity. I probably wouldn't do it for money for myself. It would be more like if somebody I would do it in a heartbeat if it was somebody in danger. You know, here's a question. Let me throw this one at you. All right, so I'm gonna override this one.
You're
All right,
overriding Gregory
let's
Stock.
say, yeah, let's say for example, you find out you're picked out and you're told you get a call from somebody that says go. It's like a Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 3, situation where
Simon
you get the
says.
call. Yeah, Simon Says you've got to go out to a busy area, people taking pictures, all that stuff. And if you do that and you go out and you get naked and you go back in the car, it'll save some stranger's life.
Sure, I'll do it.
There you go.
Why not?
Why not? There you go.
I mean, it's not like I've got anything that people haven't seen before.
Good God. What do you do?
I
What do
mean,
you do on the
not on
weekends?
me.
Okay. I was gonna say, what are you doing on the weekend? Maybe I don't know all that you're.
It's my secret OnlyFans account. No, like just as far as human anatomy goes, it's not like there's something special happening. So, why not? If it saves somebody's life, yeah, I'd go there.
By all means.
Are we talking like Times Square,
Yeah.
strutting in front of the Lincoln Memorial or something?
Now, if I could do it over at like downtown in Vegas, down by the Golden Nugget, down there where where everybody's naked anyway, that's all right.
I think what I would want to do is let's up the ante a little bit and
Oh.
just go full crazy. Give me a fake lightsaber and I'll just run up and down the street. I am a Jedi.
That's right. If we could do a little bit more fun stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be a lot. Yeah. Let's
Wow.
talk me into that one.
Whew, that's a hard question. All right. We're going to go with 58.
58. Jumping all over the place here.
I need to get more
I just
comfortable
passed
in
it.
my nudity.
Well, see, that's what I do at home. Is I walk
Yeah.
around naked all the time, but there's nobody here except
Just make
Crypto, and
sure.
he doesn't mind.
Just make sure the laptop's closed.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah. That little light there next to the camera, it's off whenever I'm doing this stuff.
I know.
All right. Are there people you envy so much that you'd actually want to trade lives with them? If so, who?
No. No, not at all.
It's a very psychologically healthy answer. There's a follow-up to that. Do you think many people would want to trade lives with you if they knew your whole story?
Jeez. That's a harder question.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't necessarily know that's the right answer. You know what I mean? Like
Right. There is no right answer.
I think I talk about privilege and things like that it could be perceived on the one side. You look at your career, your job, your life, and where you've come. I have a wife and kids and a family and a house and a job, and and I've so sure. I mean, there certainly would be somebody who's in a hard spot that would look in. But I don't make the decision for myself of not wanting to trade because I'm like arrived or something like that. It's more that like my journey is my faith, wherever that journey goes. Even if tomorrow that means that I lost it all. It's my journey. I
Yeah.
feel more in touch with that now than I probably did. I would have had a different answer like a decade ago or so. It's different now. So you?
Yeah, so I think that's what's interesting about these questions is like, you can answer them one way. Like I said, when we were in high school and he was asking these questions in class,
Yeah.
we would have one answer at the age of 14, 15, 16 years
Right.
old.
Right.
Now late 30s, early 40s, it's a different world.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not one to envy people. I don't
Yeah.
I don't envy, like, every now and then, sure, I'll envy some, like if I hear that somebody's had a major windfall and suddenly they, have millions of dollars. Well, I wouldn't mind trading places with him for a minute.
Right.
But
Right.
it's not like that. I don't want to trade lives with somebody. I'm content with what I'm, even in my past when I have been unhappy with career or location or friendships, relationships, I've never really wanted to get out of that by trying to be somebody else. Like,
Right.
what's the point? This is my life, and it is the sum of my decisions up until this point that have made me who I am.
That's
And
exactly how
I'm
I
not
feel.
going to
Right.
be, disappointed with who that is. Like, I feel like I am who I'm meant to be at this
Right.
point, and I'm still growing and I'm still maturing and learning about who I can become as I grow older, as I hopefully grow wiser.
Right.
So yeah, no, I'm never. I don't ask me to trade places with anybody. I mean, if it was a temporary thing, like spend a day as Brad Pitt, all
Yeah.
right, let's see what
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like.
That'd be
But
cool.
like, not, I don't want to trade places with somebody permanent on a permanent basis. Like, I'm talking like, let's do a quantum leap kind of thing where
Yeah.
I get to
Yeah.
experience someone else's life just because of the
Yeah.
interesting
And to see
experience
that
that would
inside.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think
But
it
but
goes.
yeah,
I think it goes without saying too. But there's like it doesn't take away from the fact that there's regret, or things that I would do differently in my life. It's not like I don't look back and say, gosh, I wish I was a different person,
right,
than the one I am. It's just, yeah, you're right. Being in somebody else's shoes, their journey, their spouse or girlfriend or job or life. I mean, there's just like, I don't know, man. I'm just far more focused on journey at this point than I am on any of that arrival, I suppose. All right.
I concur.
Question 3.
Three. Ooh. Getting back to the beginning. If you had to be obsessed with, go again, man. It's just they just throw it in there like it's nothing.
It
If
could
you
be that
had
I
to
have a
be
telepathic magnet to these questions, you know?
if you had to be obsessed with money, sex, sports, religion, or food, which one would you choose? If you had to be obsessed with one of those things.
Now, I guess let me clarify for us here. Obviously, the book won't clarify, but for us, are we talking about a healthy obsession or are we talking about an unhealthy obsession? Because a healthy obsession, I think I'd probably lean towards religion, you know, and my faith.
Is there such thing as healthy obsession, though?
See, that's the thing. I mean, semantics, you know, someone can say that they're obsessed with something in a fun way, or in a devoted way. I think it'd be good for us in this questioning to say an unhealthy
Yeah.
obsession, you know?
Yeah, I think that's the way that it is. It's designed to invoke that feeling of,
So
when you think of somebody
unhealthy,
who was
right?
obsessed with something, it's like you need to take a step back, son.
Right, right. So I wouldn't want to be an obsession, unhealthy religion, you know, because that would deviate from what I think is valuable about religion. So okay, so what do I got? I got money, sex, what else?
Money, sex, sports, religion, or food.
Sports. Yeah, not sports.
Sports,
We have a show that we're two geeks who talk about
please.
everything.
Except sports.
It's
Boo.
yeah, it's almost unreasonable.
Sports ball.
Food, to be obsessed with food. Well, I think I covered that at one point in my life.
Hey, you're the guy who
Obsessed with
puts together
money.
charcuterie boards like it's your job.
Oh, that's true. Maybe food would be true because to be obsessed with food, not necessarily just the consumption, but the preparation and I think food would be it. Money just makes you crazy if you're obsessed with money. Sex can ruin the lives of everyone around you if you have
Sure.
an obsession. Um, yeah, I guess food. I wouldn't being an ultra foodie, you know, that would
Because
be
that
fun.
doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like obsessed with food to the point where you're overeating every
Right.
time you
It
sit
could
down to
just
a
be
meal.
like
It could
you're
just be that
meticulous.
right.
Yeah.
You have a certain palate. You
Yeah.
enjoy food. Like
Yeah.
you're snobbish about the
Yeah.
foods you eat. And you're the kind of guy who can I'm picturing an episode of How I Met Your Mother where they were on the hunt for the best burger in New York,
Yeah.
and there's a scene where Marshall is describing this hamburger that he had this one time, and like it's it's really what it is. It's a play on a speech from the movie Amadeus. And he said, "This is no mere food. This is God communicating to us through food. This is no mere hamburger. This is God communicating to us
That's
through
hilarious.
food."
All right. So food is where I go. What about you?
I mean, that seems like the healthiest way to go. Because you're right. I mean, if you obsess over money, you're gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
Because if you're obsessed with money, enough is never enough.
It's
Like,
never enough.
you think about
No.
the people who are well, a line from our favorite movie, Greedy. The people who don't have it want it. The ones who do have it want more.
Yeah.
And that's your obsession with money. Sex, you're right, that's going to destroy everybody around you. Sports don't matter.
Stupid.
uh,
You know, there was a
um
moment in my heart where I thought, "Oh, I should apologize to all the sport." No, I'm not.
how
Your
many people
egos
do you
feed
think
you
actually
enough.
they're off watching ESPN? They're not listening to us.
You're not listening to our
They're watching
podcast.
Sports Center.
Go.
Go watch Sports Center, you sporty guys.
Boo. Rubbish.
Uh let's see, religion. I mean, I took a lot of church history classes in college, and it's fascinating to study religion. But
Yeah,
I don't think that the obsession they're talking about here is an obsession over the factual knowledge of, the way that religions have come about throughout the centuries. I think this is more of a I'm
zealot.
yeah, I'm devoted to my religion, and if you aren't, then you're crazy and you're going straight to hell.
Yeah,
Um
that's
no,
the goal.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to, turn into somebody who is a cautionary tale on a documentary on Netflix 20 years from now because my compound burned down. Um
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so let's go with food. Um
Being a good
specifically
foodie.
specifically potatoes and the different ways they can be prepared.
Potatoes.
That's tenders, precious. Potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Give us fish.
It ruins it.
All right. Question number 77.
77.
Oh, I always love
77.
I always love listening to your Gollum. Crypto's like, what? What?
Sorry, did I disturb you? Did I distract you from licking your own butt for a while?
Oh,
Jeez. Seriously, I
Crypto's
can
just
see
like
you up
staring at
there.
you. Yeah, Crypto's just like looking at you like, really?
What? That's what I do with a dog. All right.
Here we
If
go.
if you discovered that when you were conceived, you were one of 5 identical embryos and have 4 living identical twins, would you be more intrigued or distressed? Would you want to meet your siblings? So, so here's the hypothetical. When you were born, there were 5 of you, and your parents only kept you, but the other 4 are out there somewhere. That's
Are we talking like test tube embryos, like sci-fi? Like there's like a hospital,
I
there's
mean,
like
it's gotta
embryos.
be like, I mean,
We grabbed one.
I think we're talking about an orphan black kind of situation.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, like, you were one of 5 in a lab, and your parents got you, but the other 4, they were still allowed to grow and were adopted out and became other versions of you.
Yes, I would want to meet them all. I think it's the narcissist in me, you know.
I want to meet them all.
I think I want to meet them all. What about you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd want to meet them all because as a student of psychology, I would want to know the difference between nature and nurture. I would want
Yeah.
to know, all right, how were you raised? Why are you the way you are? Are you an introvert like I am? Is that biological or is that because of the way I was raised?
If all of them, worst case scenario, all of them are better than I am, and I learn how to better walk the path of the land and life, you know?
If any of them are better than me, I'm killing them and taking over their lives.
Well, I think we found our replacement for Majors as King the Conqueror
I mean,
right here.
I'm just saying, if we're identical, we've got the same thumbprints, right?
So identical thumbprint. Ooh, that could also open up a liability because then you don't know where they are. They could doppelgang and they could take over your life. A little
Have you ever met your
multiplicity.
doppelganger?
No.
I
Well,
have.
I've been told you met your doppelganger or
Yeah,
my
in college. He was a kid who came to visit Bluefield one day, like one of those open
doppelganger.
house weekends.
You're like, leave. It's
I was,
taken.
there's only there's only room here for one of us. And other people noticed it too. They were like,
They never saw him
that
again.
kid looks just like you. I'm like, yeah, I know. His voice was different and he walked differently. But other than that, it was creepy.
All right. How about 98?
All right. 98. And then we'll check our time and see if we got time for one more after this.
All right.
98. Oh, I don't think we'll have time for another one after this. This is a three-parter.
Phew.
If you knew you were destined never to achieve anything of real importance, how would it change your goals and attitudes? What if you knew you were destined for great things, but didn't know what?
Um,
So
I
think about
think,
that first part first.
yeah. Ask it one more time.
If you knew you were destined never to achieve anything of real importance, how would it change your goals and attitudes?
So I guess I'm a father, and I have 11 and a 14-year-old, and I've reached a place in my life where I've come to understand that what I do for these kids is more important than anything else.
Right.
So I guess I I'm kind of feel that way. I don't feel like, other than just trying to walk the life and path that I feel like God has me on, I think that I would work my life towards trying to have them be that person. So if you're not going to be the hero, be the sidekick and be one hell of a sidekick. That's what I would say is I want to look my kids to look back and feel like I was their biggest promoter, that I was, the person behind the scenes that drove them to their greatness, to help someone else become great. That's what I want.
That's a good parental answer.
That's how I feel. How about
Because
you?
I feel like that's when you're a parent, you want your kids to have a world that was better than the one you had, right?
Yeah.
Um, I, for one, am not a parent, so I don't give a crap about my kids. Um,
You have crypto.
he's a
Don't you want
dog.
crypto to be the best?
Yes, he's the bestest good boy there is. He's licking his own butt again. He's happy. Um, I think the temptation there would be well, I don't have anything on the horizon. I'm not going to be successful in business or in medicine or politics or really anything. So I might as well just sit at home and build Lego sets. And oh wait,
Hedonism.
that's what I do.
Well, hedonism, I mean, right? I mean, isn't that like the draw? It's like I'm not going to do much, so I guess I will just,
Not
you
do
know,
much.
find my comfort, find my comfort things and hedonistically, enjoy those. Um, I don't know.
It's like
Sometimes we're a bit too wound up, focused on the impact, especially social media and people becoming the thing. There's such a, I don't know if it's just here in the US or it's all over the world, but there's just this
that's just the US.
focus focus on just becoming the best one, the most popular one, and that's a lot of pressure. I mean, there's some relief to not feeling like you've got to be the guy or the
Right.
girl, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pay your taxes, be a citizen.
Taxes. Like that's important. All right, we got time for one more. Go ahead. Give us one more question or
All
one
right,
more
one
number.
more. We're gonna go with 126.
126. Okay. Ooh, this one's fun. A little morbid, but whatever. What would your funeral be like if you died tomorrow? Who would you want to speak? And what would they say about you if they were being honest?
Huh. Huh.
Dude, tomorrow's looking rough, man.
um
It's okay. No one really died. He put his paw on my shoulder like he's consoling me.
yeah. Aw.
It's
Um
okay, buddy.
yeah, my wife would not be well to say stuff. So what about you? You say something. Let me think for a second.
All right. I would want a Viking funeral,
Oh,
meaning that I would want my body on a raft or a boat set out to, well, probably on Smith Mountain Lake. Man, let's closest body of water. And obviously I would want an archer, a trained archer, to shoot a flaming arrow. And obviously be cremated that way. I think that would be fun. I mean, for everybody else, not so much for me. I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think I'd care. I'd be dead. So, who would I want to speak at my memorial service, though? Uh, do you think you'd be able to come up with something good? I mean, let's say. I mean, obviously, this says, what would they say about you if they were being honest? Yeah, say what you want, man.
yeah. I mean, I would.
Yeah, I got no problems with that.
Oh man.
I mean, I think the hope would be whoever spoke. I hope that they would I don't know, say that at the very least I was a good friend. And that I had a quirky sense of humor that you may not have gotten unless you got to know me better. Um, the kind of person who would drop what he was doing to help out if it was possible for him to help. Um, I would hope that people would see me as somebody who loves others more than myself, if that makes sense. And I know
Yeah.
that's not the case all the time. I know that about myself, because as a human being, I do have a lot of selfish tendencies. But I would hope that overall, my personality is such that when it comes down to it, somebody in need is going to be a priority for me, and has been a priority for me in the past. And so, again, that's my hope. Whether that's true and that's how people see me, I don't know. But I think that's how I like to see my best self, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
Hmm.
I guess while the Viking thing is fantastic, I mean,
Oh
really.
wait, I also want a choir of whistlers,
Oh,
not to sing it as well with my soul, but to whistle it in 4-part harmony. Could you imagine
whistle
a
and
choir of whistlers in 4-part harmony?
I am trying.
How great would that be,
It
man?
would be great.
And if they can't pull it off on whistles,
Mm,
they can use kazoos.
mm. Yeah, that would be fun for 5 seconds.
The fun
So
and funeral, man. We're putting the fun in funeral.
I would want my funeral to be treated like a party. So, like, of course, you'll have your moment where you have a church service, but I would want there to be an event afterwards that's like that's equivalent to a wedding reception, where there's like, there's an open bar, there's like good food, there's music, there's a band, and it's just
Moon
like a
bounce,
send off, huh?
moon bounce
Moon
for the kids.
bounce. Yeah, that's a great idea. I like
Thank you.
that. You got to shove them somewhere so everybody else can have fun.
That's right.
So,
If you have an open bar, you have to have a moon bounce for the kids.
that sounds great. Maybe one for the adults as well.
Mhm.
But like, so that's what I would want. I would really, if it was just like people standing around, like, and just like bringing like a whole bunch of food that's going to go in our fridge, I'd be like, oh gosh, let's do a money tree.
7 lasagnas, really? Come on, Janet.
I think as far as a person goes, so there's a guy that I've known since I was in high school named Jared, and he's now a radio host. So he's got a really great voice for it. He'd be like Landon, but he's known me in so many different ways over the years. and we had a period of time where we were close, and then a period of time where we were in different worlds, and then we got back together, and communicate often. And he knows me, and it'd be cool for, I guess he'd have a more objective sense on who I am, who I was, what mattered to me, and the impact I had hoped to have. So I think that would be for good old Jared Holland, otherwise known as Tom Morgan of Charlottesville morning show.
Oh, just collapsed.
There you go. So yeah, well, that's that ends it well. I mean, that definitively is the end, an ending question. So
I mean, we sort of began with life, talking about sex, and now we've ended it with death. Good coming around full circle on these questions.
I like the book. I think that's a fun book.
It is a fantastic book.
Once in a while.
I've been using this book for years. As if any of you guys at home have been keeping up with my blog, it is I haven't been blogging a lot recently, but in the past, whenever I've done a question of the week, this book is where those questions come from.
That's fun.
So,
yeah, you gotta read his Peckapalooza blog. It's good. It's a good writer.
It's the confusing middle.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's it.
Whatever.
Excuse me.
I get the feed. I get the auto feed.
He's subscribed. Are you? In fact, are you subscribed to this thing that we're doing here, this podcast, the show?
Like or subscribe.
So if you like what you're hearing here, please tell your friends and family. Like, subscribe, hit that little notification button. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave a comment, because we would love to hear what you have to say. Answer any one of these questions if you feel comfortable doing so, because it's not just about you guys getting to know us. We want to get to know you too.
Absolutely.
All 5 of you who listen to this thing. So please let us know.
Mom, please don't answer the sex question. Please, no. I beg you. Please.
Yeah, you're not my mom, but I don't want to hear it either.
Please don't answer that question.
So yeah. All right. Well, that does it for us. We will be back in a couple of weeks. I believe, Landon, you are going to be out of town celebrating your 20th wedding anniversary.
Yeah, my 20th wedding anniversary. Going on a cruise down to the St. Thomas, St. Martin, things like that. Royal Caribbean. That'll be a great week. And 20
we'll look out for the pirates.
I will. I
am Pirates of the Caribbean.
I am the pirate of the Caribbean.
Okay.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. What is the rum going?
Who's the rum going? All right, folks. That wraps it up for us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. And until then, have a great whatever it is, wherever you are.
See ya.